I don't think I got any more. More. I don't think I got any more. That's all I got. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, come on, Honda. It in me.
I don't have any more man. I've 4 times a day, John. You're asking too much.
I need more, Honda. I need more.
What is your obsession with my dude? Seriously.
Not anything particular with you. I just love Everybody loves
Well, it's somewhat sad that you don't love my but you bring up a good point, John. Why is it that everyone online is so obsessed with piss and I mean, it seems like it's everywhere, right?
Oh, I don't care. I just love
Okay, well, you know, today I think I'm gonna figure out where exactly is the obsession with Why are people so fascinated with it? John, I'm not gonna use you anymore. I'm done.
Hey, come here real quick.
What?
Come on, closer.
What? What are you saying? Hey, don't lick me, man! John, what the
Oh, come on, man.
I'm getting out of here, man.
Come back here. I'm not through with you yet.
I'm going to try to clean up part of my house, and I'm not going to hire a cleaner. I view this as a penance.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about a beautiful thing that happens on the internet. An obsession since the dawn of time, even before the internet. Poo-poo. Pee-pee. Poo-poo-pee. Caca. Gungus. Stinky butter. You might have heard those names, right? You see, the internet is a wonderful, wonderful thing, is it not? It allows us to enter a whole new world and connect us with all sorts of different communities to express our passion and our interests. However, sometimes that isn't always a good thing. We're not talking about that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't know what the hell that is. We're not talking about it. Not talking about that either. No. There are things that people were probably meant to keep to themselves, but the internet gave them an outlet to voice it to all the masses for everyone to see. And today, we're gonna talk about poop. Mostly poop, a little bit of pee, a lot of poop. Something that the internet seems completely obsessed with. Well, that is if you know where to look. Come on! We get flushed. Flush me. If I don't get flushed, that's a cheap version of being flushed. You know who got fired. You see, some of the earliest posts online and some of the things that drew curiosity back in the day was poop related. And one of the first ones that's one of the most unhinged, one of the most vile things I've ever seen was Septic Man. Surely, I feel like everyone has heard about Septic Man. But if you haven't, or if you need refreshing, let me refresh you. A man posted this ad to Craigslist around 2012 where he reaches out to people who want to be paid to allow him to get into their septic tank. Not a bad deal. Just let me paw around your septic tank. This is what the ad read. I pay to enter your septic tank for an hour at a time. $150. This is Jacksonville, Alabama. That's shocking. Alabama? Some might judge me for this, but it's what I enjoy. I will pay you $150 an hour to bring my equipment in and gain access to your septic tank. I then have my associate close the tank after I have set my tripod and camera up. Believe it or not, it's a great place to reflect. And then we also get one of the most haunting images of all time. Can we show this image? Well, we can just flash it up on screen for like a millisecond. There it is. You can pause it. He's sitting in a big vat of chocolate, is all I can say. And shortly after this post made the rounds, people discovered a YouTube video that seemed to be from the same person, seeing as the setting matched the Craigslist image. People found a video that corresponded with the image on Craigslist. And in the video titled Septic 5, my God, the man sets up his camera and then sits in the filth for a period of time. And at one point, he buries his head underneath the sewage and repeatedly smothers it all over his head. Can I just say, people with unhinged videos back in the day when they weren't trying to get some clout for it, Septic 5 feels like the title to a horror film, doesn't it? I gotta see it. It's been a while. Septic Man 5.
I was thinking of Mambo number 5.
Yeah, this is what Lou Bega meant by Mambo number 5. Him pulling the poop out of the pipe and the GIMP mask is just so horrifying. Oh, don't do it. His eyes and mouth are exposed. He's gonna get sick. Hidden gem. It's almost disrespectful that this doesn't have more views. You merely adopted the brown. I was born in it, molded by it. Okay. And nobody has been able to successfully identify the man. Many wonder if the title Septic 5 implies the existence of 1 through 4. Which obviously, dude. I bet you anything, he was like sitting at his day job and he like saw like on like a forum and he's like, I didn't know that other people would find this. If you think about it, back in the day, people would upload shit to the internet. It would be something where you'd be like, you know, people are gonna be able to see this, right? Yeah, but who's gonna find my thing? It's just for me and I can access it whenever. Oh, how wrong we were.
I bet you who's posted to like a forum. It's like, look at me. And someone copied it and uploaded it.
Yeah, exactly. It's somebody just being like, he's getting hard uploading poop fetish stuff, and all of a sudden he's just like, check out me rolling around. I look like a little Tasmanian devil inside the septic tank. Or we could talk about Gary Moody's outhouse exploits. You see, in 2005, a 45-year-old man named Gary Moody was caught peeping in an outhouse in Conway, New Hampshire. According to Gary, he was changing clothes in an outhouse when suddenly he dropped his wedding ring into the sewage. He decided to hop inside and retrieve it, only to be sighted by a teenage girl who was likely traumatized. Well, I dropped the ring in there.
Could you imagine that?
Well, here's the thing. When I sit down to take a shit in an outhouse, I always check for snakes because there are plenty of snakes that get in that they fucking love it. I don't know why. So I always peep in. But if you imagine going and sitting down, you like unbuckle your pants, and you like look down, and there's a guy like this. Would that not be horrifying?
Yeah, just two little bright eyes looking back at you.
Yeah, two beautiful blue eyes.
Did you spot me?
And according to the woman who was sitting down, quote, he said the ring was very valuable and he did not want to return home without it. She's just like, what are you doing? I'm looking for a ring down here. He's just covered in shit. I'm looking for a ring. If you see a guy in the bottom of a John, like in a porta potty, and he's not dry heaving and throwing up, there's a problem. If he's just rolling around, he's just like, I can't find the thing. You know what I mean? He's not like, ooh. There's something going on. Also, buy a new ring, dude. It's gone. It's valuable. You got like a Macy's. You know what I mean? He claimed that when he heard the teenager enter, he originally tried to hide out of embarrassment, meaning he was planning on sitting there while a child was going to on top of him. Awkward. Gary, you did it again. And after being fully decontaminated of the feces, he was arrested for trespassing. I feel like that should be another kind of... they're like trespassing. I don't know. He was sentenced to a 30-day jail sentence, but it was changed to 2 years of probation. If he was down there to indulge in a fetish, it is likely that he was sitting there for quite some time. Gary insists that it was an honest misunderstanding, which is completely ridiculous when you find out that he was caught doing the exact same thing just a few years later. God, the ring just keeps falling off! Because in 2009, Gary was caught at the White Mountain National Forest campground, hiding in an outhouse on Memorial Day. He's like, I was afraid of the fireworks. Too many people give me anxiety. I had to hide out. And the only place that gives me comfort. Which Gary, now 49 years old, was caught by a 9-year-old boy and 2 other witnesses as he was climbing out of the pit.
He just got done.
The 9-year-old caught him while he was after he was done. Can you imagine being 9 years old and you're like, there was a mud thing crawling out of the porta potty? Because Gary was probably like covered in blue dye and shit, or all the chemicals they put in porta potties, and he's just like, probably looked like Christopher Walken, Sleepy Hollow. Remember that? He's like dagger teeth, and he's like, shh. This time he just happened to drop his t-shirt into the sewage. Seeing as the 2005 incident was already public knowledge, he eventually admitted to his crimes, stating he has done this more than 2 occasions.
Of course.
I'll be honest, but a baker doesn't. All right? More than a handful. Can I at least say that, Your Honor? More than a handful. He was charged with violation of privacy on top of entering an enclosed area that was closed off from the public. Aside from the hefty fines, Moody risked facing 6 months in prison. So is this still an ongoing case?
No, this is old.
Which also, I just gotta say, with the underage girl and now this like little boy finding you, I'm surprised there wasn't like a...
Yeah, some kind of sexual charge.
Yeah, like put on a list or something in like years, you know? Because it feels to be like, I was drunk, I pissed on a playground, and now I'm on the sexual registration. You tell me that you saw 17-year-old girls when a 9-year-old boy came up and you were in a shit pit jacking off probably, and you didn't get a fine? Because like, what is he doing in there? I just like it. It's a fetish. It has to be a fetish, right? There's no way that you're not like mentally to where you're like, me and my dad would make poop forts. And this is my private time. I don't know. It's like, there's no way. He's hard in there, beating his off, getting like bits of corn in his hole. We gotta censor. Let's move on. There's even a subreddit called Coprophiles, which apparently is the fetish of viewing, smelling, or handling of feces. So Gary was a coprophile. There's always a file for something, isn't there? Which, side note, coprophagia is the fetish of eating one's own or another person's excrement. Just food for thought. Might want to keep that in for later. Here, scat lovers from across the internet share their passion for all things poop, on top of acting as some sort of support group for horny poop lovers, pretty much. So people are like, ooh, nice cream pie, like this post here. 22 hours ago, we got this hot off the press, didn't we? Took my first bite of today. 29-year-old male. I like to think he was like this. Yeah, he's got like a little dish of it. He's cutting it like a scone. Flaky. I've had a scat kink for years, but never really tried to taste any. I always wanted that first experience to be a woman feeding me. Like her poop?
I was picturing like he's under a girl's.
Isn't that called something?
What, scat fetish?
No, but it's like when someone shits on your chest. Isn't that called something? Cleveland Steamer.
Yeah.
He wanted someone to just make a little mud pie, a little moon pie on his face. Okay. But I haven't had much luck finding a partner over the years. It was honestly just kind of spur of the moment. I was sitting around, kind of horny and having to take a dump. A fantastic combination. Ooh, God. Yeah, exactly. I decided to take myself into the bathroom so I could unload into my hand and have something to huff as I jerked off. As soon as I brought it up to my face, my body was just kind of acting on its own, and I took a fairly large mouthful. I hate reading this because you ever read something like this and you smell it and like you like almost like your mouth is salivating in a weird way and it tastes like ugh. I always was curious if I got in a situation where I had a chance to eat someone's waste, if I'd be able to do it. But all these fears instantly went away the moment I bit down on the creamy dirt paste. I had way less trouble swallowing it down than expected, with no gagging or trouble at all. Also came pretty much instantly, and it was incredibly powerful. I'm now certain if I found a partner, I would have no trouble slurping down a couple of her logs. You would actually be kind of a crazy sensation if you had a partner, right? They pressed their lips up against your and they sucked out a turd. How would that be? Would you think that'd be satisfying or downright invasive?
For people like this, they probably like it.
You think people would just like suck that snicker out of me?
I think some people have regrets, but for that I would assume feel good getting the shit sucked out of you.
You try it?
Sure.
Would you really? I've had a handful of friends be like, you know, if a girl wanted to, I'd let him piss on me. I've never met someone that would be like, I'd take a shit on me. Would you do it?
No.
Would you take a shit on someone? I think you would. I know. I could see your gangly little Jack Skellington ass step over somebody. So just right here is good? Someone's coaching you. Can you imagine that?
I would immediately be like, I'm done. This is disgusting. Like, same thing with if someone sucked the out of my ass, I would not want to have sex with them.
Can you imagine someone sitting there, they just sucked a fat ass turd out of your ass? You guys just went to Roberto's and got yourself some fajitas, and all of a sudden then she's sucking a log of shit out of your ass. She smiles and there's a big piece of corn in her gums, whatever. How was that? Which also, here's a comment from that thread, by the way. Congrats on your first mouthful. Hopefully you'll come to the realization that you don't need a partner and can feed yourself your own shit whenever you're horny for it. Just keep in mind that 2 days in a row should be your maximum time without a day in between to keep the recycling to its maximum safe limit. I always have those I train to follow 2 days self-feed, 1 day break, 2 days self-feed, 1 day break. I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to read this just in case there is anybody who wants to eat their poop. You never know. Gotta be safe. If one of my viewers likes to, if he's like sitting there, he's eating them like little like crunch bites. He has like a box. Make sure it's just two on, one off. Or another post is holding poop in hand. It must be a crazy sensation having a poop long enough to where it's like a sword, like a hilt. Looking like Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho. For those that do use the toilet, do you hold out your hand to catch your poop, to play with your poop, or at least admire it? You ever do that? This is something I've always done before I wore diapers full time. Letting poop drop straight into the toilet seems like a waste. I will say, you know what's kind of crazy when I was thinking about though? Just in terms of a primitive brain thing, the weight, like the plop of it in your hand might be kind of satisfying. Whoa.
Nice and warm too.
Yeah, if it was diarrhea, I wouldn't want the it just like slide over my hand because the texture, but I'm saying if it was just like also, how do you lift it back up without like scraping your balls?
Probably go around like that.
I lift my leg over my head like that, and I do like this ballerina dance. Here's another comment from that as well. When I'm in the mood, I will reach down and let the turd fall into my hand. It is kind of erotic to do that. I will look at it, admire it, and maybe even lick it, or do a little blowjob or bite it. Then I drop it back and finish my business. Quite fun. So people sitting there just saying that you could sit there like, plop it, I admire it. Look at you go. Lick it. Do whatever, and then you just throw it back in. You know that he's spiking that motherfucker like a touchdown too, letting it splash up in his face. Flush it. Watch the turd fall down. Have to choose. Please help. Hi, mates. I'll need your vote. I have a decision to make. I would pay $200 for a fat woman. She said I could smear her shit on her belly and after and then shower together. I think no anal. Oda, the other one, for $300, I can fuck her filled ass, but she want to dominate me. And no smearing. She's skinny. Both of the faces are kind of cute. kind of an interesting pickle to be in, right? Now you're between first and third running back and forth trying to get, you're just trying to figure out which way to go. And someone says this, your choices are smearing but no anal sex or anal sex but no smearing. So what's most important to you at this first stage of your scat journey? And is that going to be worth the amount of money you'll pay for the experience? I hope this helps. To which the poster replied, I took the skinny and she allowed me to film it with me GoPro. It was so awesome. I felt like one of them BMX riders with me GoPro. You know what? I'm glad he at least found his mate. I think he had a great time. We wanted to throw that one in there for a nice philosophical discussion for our viewers. Which one would you have taken? You know, tell us in the comments. Hit the like button and the subscribe. Did it even have the bell anymore? Ring the bell. If anything, just comment fat or skinny.
Yeah.
I just want to see one word comments this whole time. Fat. I just want to see a wall of fat. So when people are coming to this channel, they're like, Jesus Christ, they're kind of laying it hard to this guy, aren't they? Jesus.
Wait! Today's video is sponsored by Bad Dragon. Our dear friends, long-standing sponsors of the channel. Just want to give them a great big thank you for having the best, unbelievable products and spicing up the bedroom. And if you've been trying to explore maybe your own relationship, you're trying to explore yourself, maybe your relationship, trying to dive deep into holes like a groundhog. Maybe head on over to Bad Dragon and figure it out. And be sure to check out all of their premium products that are quality inspected. We've been to the warehouse. We've seen how the chocolate is made, and my God, is it sweet, my friends. So head over to Bad Dragon and look at all their beautiful, fantastical designs and see if you can't get to know yourself just a little bit better. Thank you, Bad Dragon, for sponsoring the video. And back to the video.
But let's get out of the subreddit. Let's go to Poolexa and Scatshop.com. Poolexa.com was a well-known scat website that was run by a woman named Alexa, a woman who filmed custom scat videos and she would sell it to customers online. Now, see, this is a pioneer, ladies and gentlemen. OnlyFans, get the f out of my way. Poolexa. Pretty innovative. This would evolve into selling covered panties and, more notably, baking sugary treats filled with her feces, cookies, Twinkies, and, of course, her famous poo brownies. There's no way this video stays monetized. According to Poolexa, she made 30 to 35 poop brownies a week. Goddamn old Betty Crocker. Hey, was that Martha Stewart? I can't tell. And for those concierges who prefer turds in their natural, untarnished state, you can also order straight up logs of poo from Alexa instead. This became a lucrative business for Alexa. And in order to expand, she started redirecting Poolexa to Scatshop.com, where other models could post videos and sell items. Many claim she was starting to scam models, stealing content, and ripping off sellers, especially from those who didn't speak English. And she's just like, I don't give a fuck about those Russian. Users shared their disgust with Alexa's behavior, even exposing her biggest crime of all, swapping out her normal poops that were for sale with her husband's.
That's how she kept up with all the poo brownie orders.
People who are buying stuff, going to Poolexa.com and ordering something, right? Do you think they're like, I know for sure that's a man? I know, I can tell you right now that is not Pooalexa's turd.
Wait a minute, this one's a bit thicker.
It's like that scene in Inglourious Bastards when he holds up the 3, whatever. That's what they're saying. They look at it briefly, they're like, and they immediately know. I think people after a while could get akin to that. Because think about it, how many times have you seen a woman's turd? How many times have you seen a woman's turd? Never. Me neither. I would never be able to discern it. But someone who's been psychoanalyzing it, they know, dude. They just gotta know. You know what I mean?
They're like wine drinkers. They could tell the difference in taste.
I bet you anything, somebody has taken a turd, put it in a wine glass, and like, you smell the wood? It's like oak. Oak and... what was that, mustard? But both of these websites are now inactive after what seems to be an attempt to milk as much money as possible from customers and users. Bring back Poolexa.
It's almost, I feel like, if you bought...
Why?
If you're advertising, like, their pictures next to the poo, I'm hoping I get that girl's poo.
I guess in a way that's true. So what are you saying, that if you got the husbands, you'd feel gay? I got hard and beat off to the husband's poo, and now I feel gay.
I'd feel disgusted, yeah. I'd be like...
But, you know, even outside of the fetish thing, some people use poo and pee for drugs, to get high. Your body is a natural producer to fucking get lit, boys and girls. You know, poo and pee can be very, very versatile, to the point where people have discovered how to get high with it. So let's dig into some of the ways you can turn human waste into drugs. I'm a responsible YouTuber. Such as my first one, and one of the best names I've ever heard for a drug, which is Jankum. I love Jankum, dude. What a great name. You're gonna want to go home and huff some Jankum? Jankum is a unique type of drug that consists of human waste like poop, pee, and sewage. Just throw trash in there. Throw Jankum. After leaving it in a container and putting it out in the sun, it ferments. And once open, you can inhale the fumes mixed with methane, which creates a powerful high that leads to hallucinations. I feel like you would see the devil. If you are seeing hallucinations from I feel like you're seeing the devil, 100%. According to those who have used Jankum, side effects include euphoria, mood swings, delusions, and of course, intense pleasure. Jankum was first reported being used in the South African country, Zambia. According to a 16-year-old child who reported his experience, he said, quote, "With glue, I just hear voices in my head, but with Jankum, I see visions. I see my mother who is dead, and I forget about the problems in my life." God damn, dude. Have you ever heard someone sell Jankum more? With glue, I just hear voices in my head. I hear my dad yelling at me. But with Jankum, it's a spiritual journey. There are risks to inhaling chemicals like this, such as cutting off flow of oxygen to parts of the body. Listen, you can't escape the OD aspect, right? You do enough Jankum, you might suffocate to death, right? Might have a heart attack. Jankum comes at a cost. Or for more of the PP route, if we want to talk about the urinal cake addictions. Some have discovered that it's possible to get high off huffing urinal cakes. It's made of a deodorizing chemical called PDCB. I said it right, don't question me. And is known as a carcinogen. So do you like getting cancer? There you go. Huffing urinal cakes and the chemicals within results in lightheadedness. It's like a hookah lounge. There's an official subreddit known as r/urinal cake life that, while filled with lots of satire and inside jokes, seems to partly consist of people genuinely indulging in a drug that is consuming their lives. While you have some people joking around, there are some people who are in their own intervention show episode eating urinal cakes. Users of the subreddit describe it as getting pucked up. I love that, dude. I'm gonna go get pucked up later. Can I come with you? You're referring to the urinal pucks that they use to get high. Gonna get pucked up, dude. Which I do want to say this because this is just, I've never heard anybody doing this, so I want to see someone's comment. And it says, "It's hard to describe the feeling. It lasts much longer than whippets for sure, and no other drug can compare to it, honestly. It's such a unique feeling of euphoria. The smell can get to you sometimes, but a lot of puckers enjoy the smell of seasoned pucks. I definitely choose huffing pucks over gasoline." What a sad life. I'm like, why don't you huff nothing? Let me get a Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? Go for a run. I don't know. It's either this or gas. No, I gotta do something, okay? Oh my god, on r/urinal cake life, why can't I stop? I'm losing everything. Jesus Christ. I've managed to try nearly every drug out there, from alcohol to crack and heroin, and put them down when things got too crazy. But I can't stop using PDCB regardless of how bad things get. You gotta just say urinal cakes. A friend of mine told me about it and thought he was joking. We were drunk and he convinced me to try it, and I did just to play along because I deadass thought it was a joke. Well, it worked, and I loved it. It was like all the euphoria of cocaine with the trippiness of salvia, and it only lasted a couple minutes. I kept doing it and found myself obsessed. My fiance walked in on me, and it was super awkward conversation, but she was understanding, and I managed to quit for a couple days before I found myself digging a puck out of a urinal at Circle K and passing out in the bathroom. I woke up to firefighters tearing the door off the wall, and I had to call my fiance from the hospital and explain what happened. Well, she broke up with me. The shame made me stop for a few days until the same thing happened at the library. But instead of firefighters, I woke up to a security guard giving me a Narcan and kicking me out. I just called a bathroom supply company and ordered several boxes of pucks wholesale. They'll be here any day, and I'm terrified of what's about to happen. This post is a cry for help. I'm too embarrassed to go to rehab, and my family and fiance aren't talking to me. I need help, but don't know where to start. That's actually horrifying. Also, I just want to say this reads like a creepypasta off r/no-sleep. Okay? That's crazy. I think that also posting on r/urinal cake life is not the place. I think a lot of people are going to be like, stop being a puck up or shut up. But let's get out of urinal cake stuff. It's making me fucking sick to my stomach. Now let's talk about some of the most unique and dangerous uses of human waste. You still with me in this video? You still here? I just think there's one guy in the bathroom just having a horrible time. Because a lot of people, you know, how many people say, "Oh, I'm watching this in the bathroom." You know, how many people are taking a shit right now? They're gonna get up, look at their shit, and there's gonna be
They're tempted.
Oh, 100%. Comment down below if you plopped one in your hand while watching this video. Just out of curiosity. Who would know? Wash your hands afterwards. Are you a coward? Can you imagine just like peer pressuring somebody to do something? Which we could do the poop tank patent. Because in 2009, a Russian inventor named Alexander Georgievich Smirnov filed for a patent called Method of Bio-Waste Removal from Isolated Dwelling Compartment. Essentially, he had created a tank that would be used to blast feces at their enemies. Soldiers who are holed up in a tank for long periods of time need to defecate and have an efficient method of ridding the waste. This patent was for a unique artillery shells that could encase their poop and launch it out of the tank alongside an explosive charge. Brutal. Not only would soldiers no longer sit with foul-smelling waste for days on end, but they would also add additional military, psychological, and military political effects. I got that drill diagram. So this is poo-poo bullet. It blows up and everyone's stinky. Do you think they signed off on it?
I've never heard of it.
I bet you if we face the Russians, it would happen.
Is that what they're gonna pull out in Ukraine?
It might be. They might have already pulled it. I'm not sure. Or we can talk about the Arizona woman who put poop in her husband IV. We see this a lot, okay? Because in 2014, a woman from Chandler was accused of injecting her husband's IV bag with feces. 66-year-old Rose Vogel is a registered nurse and was taking care of her husband, Philip. One day, Philip was hospitalized for a heart condition, and a technician caught Rose stroking and rubbing Philip's arm, which was not advised by hospital staff. She's probably trying to put shit into the wound right there, I bet. Shortly after the technician left, the pump alarm went off, so a nurse responded to investigate. This is when Rose was caught once again, this time messing with her husband's pump and line. She's like, I'm not with the arm anymore. We're going straight to the source. Upon inspection, the nurse found brown liquid in the saline solution, which smelled of fecal matter. Oh my God, dude. Police were called, and upon searching her belongings, it was discovered that she carried 3 poop-filled syringes in her purse. Oh my God. And you know what's crazy? This looks like a girl that you would do it. That mugshot as a poopy girl. After several days without sleep, Rose claimed she was very depressed, and supposedly she carried out the actions and was left with no memory of the event, claiming she, quote, always loved her husband through sickness and in health. Like, Philip revealed that Rose's best friend passed the month prior, severely altering her state of mind due to emotional distress as well as other psychological issues. Rose was sentenced to 4 years of probation. She will also be spending weekends for the next year in prison. Pretty brutal. Okay, let's just do another one, because this is not the first time something like this has happened. Like in 2005, when a pediatric nurse named Stephen McMullen from Delaware purposely injected the IV bag of a 22-month-old child with fecal matter. It was discovered that the boy had E. coli in his bloodstream, and after inspecting her belongings, syringes were found alongside an intravenous line tap, as well as a history of looking up information on child poisoning. Why do people do that? No need to delete history. This isn't my home. No one's gonna find this. The boy was becoming sick and struggling to eat, but the nurse insisted that it was part of his condition, rather than being caused by bacteria forced into his body. McMullen was charged with assault and reckless endangerment. I feel like it should be more than that. Attempted murder?
I was gonna say, that's attempted murder.
Right? They're probably just like, it's a 22-year-old baby. It'll be fine. They're like super soldiers. Or we can talk about the time that a Portland man created a bomb out of his dog's poop. In 2019, a 48-year-old man from Portland created a homemade bomb using dog feces in order to prank his friend. It's a silly prank. Rob Stout told the police that he was furious at an ex-friend of his for not returning some tools that were lent to him. Because they were both big fans of YouTube prank videos, Rob decided to pull one of his own. He found an airbag from an old junkyard and put it inside of a toolbox that was filled to the brim with feces he had collected. The bomb was set up so that it would detonate upon his friend opening the container. It was placed on the back of his friend's car for him to discover. And according to the affidavit, it exploded with such force that it sounded like an M80 going off, and the dog scat was blown out of the toolbox. By some stroke of luck, the man was not injured. Lucky. Regardless, Rob was jailed, posted $2,000 bail, and was released. His home was searched, and he was later charged with possession of meth, as well as an unlicensed short-barrel shotgun. Turned out that Rob had 14 previous convictions, 10 felonies, and 4 misdemeanors. Welcome to Portland. Some of which for manufacturing of illegal drugs and evading police. I like how all this is found out about a guy just because he's like, I collected a bunch of dog poop. I'm praying my friend. What I thought was going to go is it exploded, but the top of the toolbox hit the guy and would kill him. We're huge YouTube prank fans. You're a grown adult, dude. What the f are you talking about?
Well, that was the defense, trying to build a case.
They love the practical jokesters. And there was also the time a realtor got fired for showing off their boss's giant turd. And a post from a realtor went viral where he explained that he was fired from his job for posting a photo of his female boss's gigantic turd. Alex ranted on TikTok about losing his job, telling the entire story. Alex was prepping an open house for a very expensive mansion listing that Monica, his boss, gave him. Alex and his coworker Ricardo were prepping the place for a big open house event, complete with live music, sushi chefs. I mean, like, this is a big house, big deal. One of the bathrooms had no water running, so they marked it as out of service. During the event, Monica, who was rudely trashing their ideas all day, went to the bathroom and took a giant in the door marked no water. So if you don't have water, your toilet cannot flow. Realizing there was no water running, she left it there. When Alex and Ricardo found it, they were furious and decided to tap into security cameras to see who was at fault. When confronted, she plays dumb and insists on taking care of the issue herself. After Alex repeatedly comments on how disgusting and unhealthy the person who made it must have been in order to humiliate her, he repeatedly refers to it as the giant Russian submarine.
If I don't show you the picture, you're gonna be thinking I'm exaggerating. That looks like a Russian submarine. Half of that thing was in the water, half was out. I'm not kidding. For 1 minute, I thought that it was the recreation of the Titanic. Of an anaconda showing up from the water. We didn't know if that thing was alive. If we had to take it out and give her CPR, we couldn't believe our eyes.
The next day, Alex decides to post a picture to Instagram and directly call her out because of how disrespectful she was during the open house preparations. Because of this, he was brought into the office and fired. He tells the story parked outside of his house because he's too nervous to tell his wife why he got fired. Although he originally deleted the post after being called to the office, he decided to repost the pic now after he was fired. And I gotta say, this is a picture, we cannot show this, but that is a massive turd. Also, just to leave it. Anything's gonna happen to it. She's just like, someone will take care of it. And apparently, it's very common for people to accidentally poop in showroom toilets at places like Home Depot or IKEA. I mean, there's a local place here in Kansas City called Menards, and this is a screenshot from that. Someone says, caught somebody shitting in a display toilet. I was walking down the toilet aisle and noticed somebody recording another person taking a shit in the display toilet. I asked what the fuck they were doing, and they just ran off. They actually shit in the display toilet, and somebody had to clean it. What is wrong with people these days? And also, someone said somebody took a shit in a display toilet at Home Depot. I was shopping for toilets and lifted the lid on the display toilet, and it had shit and piss in it. I freaked out, and it looked like it had been there for a few days. Oh God. I didn't tell anybody and just left the store. Why the hell would anybody do such a thing? I'm sure it'll be there for a week. Why would you not tell anybody? Hey, there's a giant rotten piece of shit in there. It's been there for a couple days. That guy. Fuck that guy.
As a kid, I always wanted to take a shit in the display toilets.
Yeah, of course. It's a primal thing. You see a toilet, you want to shit in it. You know what I mean? But you have basic human understanding that you're an evolved species. You're like, it doesn't go anywhere. Just be pooping in a bowl. But, you know, I mean, stores have started bolting down toilets and putting up poop and pee guards to prevent this happening. They've started to make it less fun to open up toilets. Way to go.
Those guards don't do anything.
Yeah, people definitely shit them and then they smash them. They probably get their fetish off that way. It's like waffle stomping. But you know, whether it's huffing poop gas or creating feces explosives or getting off and stroking it in a pool or sewage system or something like that, it's hard to deny that human waste dominates a portion of the internet, and I think it will forever. It's the same thing. It's like people farting. It's always funny to fart. But for some reason, poop and poop-related content is an obsessive thing that the human brain can't seem to let go of. It's like the one last piece of monkey in our brain that's just like, yes, I have to consume this. And whatever you're into, go for it. And if you want someone to Cleveland steamer your chest, just do it. God forbid. Don't do it in public. Don't be peeping in on people. You know, keep your poop fetish to yourself. What am I gonna do? Get upset for you making poop snowballs in your house and throw them around? It's your house. Do what you want. And you know what? It makes me think that maybe it was good that before the internet, certain people had to keep certain things to themselves. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. Wash your hands. We'll see you in the next one.